we're doing garden to table. I am primarily into growing my own food, and the exciting thing today is we're going to be doing kimchi from the Chinese cabbage that I grew 4 months ago. Recently harvested last week, and here we are. It's been brining for 12 hours, and the test is that it's bendable as opposed to snappable. So this is ready. Exciting. Okay, so we have this in here. Great. We also have a few things that we've gathered together today in order to do kimchi, which is, of course, we need red pepper. This is the Korean red pepper. And in terms of, I'm going to be doing a kimchi recipe that I found online repeatedly a number of times. I'm not of Korean heritage, but we do enjoy Korean food in our house. And miso, we're gonna be using a miso based. I've also done it with fish sauce. I'm out of fish sauce, so we're gonna be using a miso based kimchi today. It will therefore be vegetarian version. We also have green onions, the white part of the green onions. That's what we're working with here. And we're gonna go ahead and julienne up some of the additional vegetables that we want. I also have this rice paste that I went ahead and cooked up. It is a mix of glutinous rice flour, 2 tablespoons of it, and a cup of water. It's been made into a slurry and then heated up to make this consistency. We're gonna be cutting up our other foods while we wait for this to cool. Let me know if you guys are also interested in growing your own food. I would say that's my specialty. I do like to do garden to table. I do like to do garden to table though, because it's exciting to be able to take your own cleanly grown food and then enjoy it yourself, literally from the garden to the table. All right, here we are. If you're wondering what glutinous rice flour is, it will, if you go to the Asian grocery store, sometimes it'll look like this, and it'll literally say gluten rice flour. Gluten also means sticky rice as well. So if you can't find glutinous rice flour, find sticky rice flour. It's not to be confused. We have a slurry, like I was saying, that we're gonna let cool here. And then we're gonna go ahead and cut up a few additional things that we're gonna need. Garlic, we're gonna want some garlic. And we'll also need ginger. I like to use powdered ginger only because if you use raw ginger, it has a tendency to make everything slimy if you don't manage the right amount. So I like to just use ginger powder. And we typically find it at the Korean grocery store. It's just called red pepper powder. And though I've seen it in like a thicker, this says fine powder. You also have like a bigger version of powder. I'm not really sure that it makes a difference. Again, I'm not Korean, but if anyone's Korean out there and can explain to me the difference, I'd appreciate that. I just happen to buy the fine powder one. And typically when I put in my little kimchi jars, I'm gonna be doing a kimchi, I usually put my kimchi jars in upcycled spaghetti containers. This one used to have spaghetti in it, and I'll just fill it to the max. We're definitely gonna be doing some garden to table stuff, and this is the start of it. If anyone's wondering about my cabbages, I'm in zone 8A, North Texas, and this was my first time to grow through winter, so it was really exciting to, see something green growing in my lawn, specifically the cabbage. Napa cabbages are big cabbages. I mean, as you can tell, this is just from one head. It looks like a regular cabbage, but it's leafier. Can you tell? It's leafier. What daikon is, that is one of the other things that we're going to be using to add color to the kimchi. And we have green onions, right? We have green onions here. Put these cut to the side. We're gonna also cut up some garlic, diced. And I'm not Korean, and I didn't learn it from ajima. Ajima, I know, is grandmother in Korean. So no, I didn't learn from a grandmother, but I have obviously watched a lot of videos. We're gonna cut the tops here. If you're curious, you're not gonna be able to regrow a whole root, but if you stick this part in dirt, you'll be able to grow green tops. And the green tops, if you keep it alive for long enough, will eventually give you carrot seeds. And that you could plant for following season. I hope to be able to do a video on that. I've seen it and observed it firsthand, but not actually recorded it. So a little daikon as well, just to add a little bit of a crunch. If anyone's wondering what daikон's like, it's an Asian type of radish that you would use in yeah, Asian cooking. It is spicy. It is spicy, and it's obviously much larger than the American type or red radishes that you would find. This is a daikon radish. I didn't grow it. I hope to grow some this year. I haven't successfully grown it yet, but I plan to start seeds soon. This is just a store-bought daikon. And it's gonna add a little bit of crunch to the kimchi, which consists of the cabbage as well as a little bit of carrots for color. I am sharing my recipe, or what we like to do for our kimchi, and we're doing carrots, julienning them to add color to the kimchi. It's fine enough, right? This is daikon here. I'm also trying to grow this in the garden as well. Daikon is a radish, a very long radish though. So if you ever want to grow this vegetable, know that it's going to take like 70 or at least 2 months to grow it just because of the way it grows. Whereas radishes, your little bell radishes or French breakfast radishes, the red ones, red pink ones, those will take only about a month. The larger the vegetable, the longer it takes to grow. So hopefully I'll be able to grow these as well. But for now, we're going to be cutting some up. I chopped off a part of the daikon, and we're now going to go ahead and peel away the peel, and then also julienne some of the daikon as well. Julienning daikon. There's different ways you can kimchi, and today we're focused on doing the Napa cabbage, or the Chinese cabbage version. Again, because Napa cabbages is what I harvested last week. So this will be the main character of the kimchi today, but you can obviously kimchi daikon radishes. That's very common to kimchi. You'll find this like cubed, and you'll use the same paste that I'm going to show you in a little bit. You would just pick a different vegetable. In this case, you could do cubed daikon radishes or Korean radishes and pickle those using the same ferment paste that I'm going to show you guys today. So we have these carrots. They're going to go along with our green onions over here that we're going to add in a little bit to our actual vegetables that we're going to ferment. I think the reason why I like the kimchi in particular is because I don't have to really, aside from cooking the rice paste, I don't have to really cook anything. Like, I don't have to cook a brine. It will ferment at room temperature for 3 days. I prefer it at 3 days. Anything longer than that, it starts to get a little bit too sour for my taste buds. And then pull off all the leaves like this, but I did home grow these Napa cabbages, and I found dirt and bugs in under every leaf. So I did have to peel away every leaf and wash it really well. I know some people you'll see do a kimchi recipe and they literally just quarter the Napa cabbage head and they're ready to go. But like I said, I grew these outside, lots of bugs, lots of dirt, and wanted to make sure they're clean. So that's why I've peeled away literally every layer. Okay, I think you guys remember, I planted a bunch of daikon seeds, and they're more sensitive to frost, like radishes in general. And I think the area that I had it in, it was more exposed right next to the sidewalk. It just couldn't keep heat well. Anyway, it's okay. I've started so many other things though, so it's a little, there's too many vegetables and seeds to have to start, which makes it a little tricky. But I will finally get around to growing my daikon, because soon enough it's going to be too hot for me to grow those. All right, just for a little bit of color, we got I like to finely julienne my my radishes and whatnot, so I think it just tastes more refined, right, when you have like really fine texture. So I'm a pretty good julienner, if you'll see. I'm gonna put it here as well. All right, so I feel like this is a good amount. I mean, actually, I'll cut a little bit more daikon, This is the rice paste I was talking about earlier. It's glutinous rice with water mixed in a slurry. And mostly we want to make sure that this is cool. Yeah, we don't want it like cooking the vegetables before we've even started to ferment them. Any kind of rice slurry always takes a little bit to cool. So this looks like it's getting there. All right, now I'm gonna put this to the side. We're gonna go ahead and also get Normally I would put in fish sauce to give that umami flavor. Traditional kimchi uses little like shrimps, which are not very American pantry friendly. So other ways that I've seen people do it are they'll use fish sauce, which is commonly used in Vietnamese cuisine. And I normally have that, but I ran out. It's okay. I have some Japanese miso though that we're gonna use. And I'm gonna prioritize the white paste, the white type of miso. This type of miso is going to allow it's going to be a lighter taste as compared to the red miso. There is a white and a red type of miso. So the whiter it is, the more subtle in flavor it's going to be, as opposed to a heavy flavor. And I have a little thing of water here. Miso can be really thick or can be really heavy tasting. So I'm going to be taking a teaspoon of it. Let's see, this is my teaspoon, right? And actually I want to get, so like this is, remember I was talking about the daikon and how you can make that into a kimchi too? This is a daikon kimchi that I have here. So you literally cube the daikon and you use the same paste that I'm going to show you guys how to do here as well. And I'll just reuse upcycle containers because the way this works is kimchi that I have here, I'm actually out of the cabbage kimchi, which is why we're making some today. Okay, so I got a spoon and I have some water here. This is about a cup of water. You do about, well, that's a lot. A tablespoon of water to a tablespoon of miso, equal parts. The miso is strong, so that's why you wouldn't directly add it as is. Miso paste, this is good. And I'm gonna, for like a jar, for this, for my pound, or for my 2 pounds of cabbage, I think I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons of this. So I'm gonna double this water and double the miso. I'm gonna kind of dilute, this is how we're gonna dilute the white miso and use it in lieu of fish sauce, or in traditional kimchi, they use like a shrimp. That is just less accessible to the average American. So even I don't buy it. I think I'd have to go to the Korean store to specifically buy that. So I have been learning to substitute with fish sauce. And when I'm out of that, miso paste. I like pickles as well. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's just beautiful. Like, have you ever seen such like red pickles? I think that's what makes kimchi, I don't know, so appetizing for me. Because they use the red pepper, right? This is the red pepper. I had to specifically buy this at the Korean store. I don't think 99 Ranch, which is primarily Chinese influenced, carries it. I had to get this at H Mart. And everything. Kimchi is a multi-day process. Like I said, first 8 hours, you're gonna be brining it, getting it nice and soft and bendable. And then the next, I guess it's like a 24-hour activity then. Because it's like this. Oh, but then if you count the ferment days, right, you want at least like 3 hours of, 3 days to let it ferment at room temp. All right, okay, so now we're gonna cut it up just really finely here. We're also gonna be using ginger as well, but since I don't have, or since ginger tends to make it slimy, we are just gonna be using ginger powder. We're just gonna use ginger powder. Wait, I got something in here. I'm pretty sure it's a bug that came off of my cabbage when I brought it inside the house. Yeah, so if you're ever washing, when I was washing my Napa cabbage, I definitely took it outside to wash it because I didn't want to. And we're gonna put this inside. You wanna mostly drain the water. You wanna drain most of the water. And actually there's not that much. I'll show you guys in a little bit. Or here, hang on. Let me get this out. So we harvested the Napa cabbage. That's super exciting. Whoops. So look at all this water. This is the water that comes out of the cabbage itself. I did also wash my Napa, so maybe there was a little bit of leftover water in it. But this is what it's looking like. This is a salted water, of course, because remember I was brining it. I did a dry brine. This is just all the water that comes out of the Napa cabbage and maybe some leftover water as well. So we got this. I need a container to drain this out in. Oh, here we go. I like to save this because it's clean and I could use it to like flavor a soup. So I like to save this like a clear broth soup, which is very common in Asian cuisine. All right, so now we got this to work with. Oh, some of it dropped out. Okay, here we go. Okay, what is this? Oh, this is the daikon leaves. All right. This is already pretty clean in here. So we're gonna do this, okay. All right, and now we are going to, I feel like I have a lot of paste. We want a good paste. This is making our paste, so we want to use all of this. We want it to slather really well in between all of our leaves. So we're gonna get all of that, all of this slurry. And then scoop it. Remember, this was the glutinous flour with water that you mix in advance and then heat up to make the slurry here. And then we're gonna add in the, now we just add in all the things. We have the garlic from earlier. I think I just did like 2-3 cloves. The garlic from earlier. When as like a wedding gift. It was fun. So we got my garlic in here. Can you guys even see? Oh, you know what? I can't even see because the screen is so small. And then in lieu of what I would normally add as fish sauce to give it the umami, or in lieu of shrimp, which is more authentic in kimchi, we're gonna add in some miso for flavor. Should I add in this whole thing? Oh wait, make sure it's mixed well. You can kind of go all the way around, make sure it's mixed well. I just did 1 part miso to 1 part water. So I have 2 tablespoons. So many green onions, so I'm gonna use half because I wanna make another. Do I have enough? Yeah, you know what, we're just gonna add the whole thing. We're gonna add it all. Okay, and we're just mixing it up. Oh, the peppers, the pepper, that's what I almost forgot. I should have added the pepper first. Okay, so we have pepper in here. And like I would say 3 tablespoons is probably what you want to start with. Oh, I'm so low here, I might not. Okay. So here's 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. I'm not a big measurer, if you can tell. 3. I'll add a little bit more. Sometimes I go just by color. Like if it's not red enough, I have to add more. Ooh, we're almost done there. Gotta go to the grocery, gotta go to H Mart to get more. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more daikon since I already have this much. So some people will also add sugar too. I find that I try to minimize sugar when I can. And since the rice paste that we made already has flour in it and flour already has that sugar taste, I don't bother actually adding additional sugar. If you like that, you can go ahead and add in sugar. It's very common. I just try to minimize the excess sugar I intake since I find that rice has that natural sweetness. So you could also add in sugar, I just don't. But that's it. And then you would jar this up. I need to go find my gloves so I can properly mix it. And probably should have put on so it's pretty easy. Just to recap, we let it brine. We let it brine for 8 to 12 hours, just salting the cabbages, salting it in between. We wanted to let it get limp and soft like this. It should literally taste a little bit salty when you taste it. You'd be like, that's a salted cabbage taste. And then the next step, the day of, is to then cook up the rice paste, because that's going to be the body of what distributes the flavor all over your cabbage, or it could be, like I said, daikon or radish that you choose to use, whatever vegetable. Traditional kimchi is made using Chinese cabbage though. So that's what we've gotten here. And then just for a little bit of color, as usual, you could add in carrots, as well as the, we use daikon as well. Daikon for crunch. You don't need to pre-salt those, because you're gonna cut those finely julienned. So they'll absorb flavor more quickly than the Napa cabbages will. and mix it, and then mix that all in with your particular powder here. This is the Korean pepper that I specifically got at H Mart. I don't think I've seen it at 99 Ranch, which is more Chinese influenced. So yeah, this is what I've got here. And then to add that umami flavor, traditional or authentic kimchi uses shrimp, salted shrimp. We just used miso today. Also, if you wanted to have more of a fishy taste though, you could also use the fish sauce. I think I threw away my bottle, so I don't even have that to show, but fish sauce that you can get at 99 Ranch. They sell fish sauce, which is a common Vietnamese condiment, and it's salty, smells like fish. But yeah, and that was it. And then we put in some garlic and ginger. Oh, I forgot the ginger. Let's put in some powdered ginger. Whoops. Just a little bit of ginger. And the ginger, powdered ginger. Let me see, anything else? No, that was it. When I said to put in miso, I just reminded everyone to use use it mixed with water, just to dilute it a little bit. Well, that's it. I am gonna go find some gloves and properly mix these, but I think we're done. And then the next step is to put them in these jars, pack it tightly, push it down, right, like you would with any type of pickle. Make sure your vegetables are submerged, and then let it sit out on the counter for 3 days. Oh, blue bonnet, no worries. I'll do a video about this. Actually, I'm about to go on. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We made, for my 4-month-old cabbage that I started from seed, we made it into kimchi, and that's how we're doing garden to table. And we're gonna let this ferment, and I'll show you guys how it ends up turning out in the next couple of days.